Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oklahoma Arsenal's YouTube channel. We're going to go over a couple of things here with you today in relation to some of the older bow setups, such as the Bear Kodiak that I have here. This is a Bear Kodiak made in the 80s, so it's a fairly older bow. It's probably about as old as I am. It's about 37 years old, in the neighborhood of. They're really well-made bows. Still you can see it's in pretty good shape. It's got some scuffs on it, but it is an old hunting bow. Some of these bows, or most of them back in the day, this bus cable right here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but that right here where my finger is at is an exposed piece of the cable. They were made from braided steel, so when changing strings, you weren't quite as prone to having to change those as much due to them being a little tougher and stronger because they were braided steel. If you noticed any fraying, nicks, or cuts, or obvious deformities or damage, it was a wise idea to go ahead and change those. Just because you don't want to be full draw on your bow just come apart on you and it burst into pieces. We've all seen those videos where some of the uneducated hunters are drawing back a bow and dry firing it, causing it to rupture, burst into pieces or break the strings and the limbs, causing lots of damage, hundreds of dollars worth of damage to the bow that may not be repairable. With this particular bow, I bought this string off of Amazon, and it was I believe a company called Circuit Archery or Cricket or whatever however you pronounce it, for about $50. It was sent to me in the mail, and then I took it to my local archery shop, which was in Del City, Oklahoma at the time, and had it installed for $20. They said the average bowstring will last roughly, or they recommend changing every, roughly 3 years or so, depending on the quality of the materials. And, if you're seeing, if you're looking up and down the string and you're seeing fraying or cuts or breaks in this cable, or the string, sorry, not the cable, the string, then it would be a wise idea to take that out of use and replace it. This bow itself is not cammed, it's just got the two roller wheels on the end rather than a cam like my Matthews. My Matthews is a bit newer, but still not a brand new bow. On it, I'll bring it up. It's still waiting on the strings for it to be restrung. You can see this one with the string here and the cables here and here. This cable setup here are roughly a very similar material, if not exactly the same. The individual I got this bow from said it had set for 9 years underneath of his bed in his room, not being used. So that to me said, one, it needs to be probably inspected, checked out, check your limbs for any obvious cracks, breaks, or any kind of deformities that might be something that would be unsafe to shoot. Such as if you look here on this string, right here, this little piece kind of hanging off, that to me said this string and cable need to be replaced. So I went ahead and got on bowstrings.com, and I can leave this a link in the description for you if you'd like. And I ordered a set for $69.99. They were offering free shipping on anything over $50. I should see that in just a few days on the 18th of this month. So that's pretty fast turnaround coming all the way from Ohio to Yukon, Oklahoma. Um, I've went ahead and already got some of the stuff set up for it on this one. This is a trophy ridge sight that I have a 3-pin with the top being green, the middle red, and the bottom green with a bubble level to tell you, obviously whether you're level right and left or not. A trophy ridge whisker biscuit arrow rest. I've still got to get the stabilizer bar, which goes right here on this one, way down towards the bottom here. This one, when you're replacing the string, because it is different than the Bear, it's newer, you're going to have to, it was suggested to replace your cables and your string. You can get them in sets from, like I mentioned, bowstring.com. They will do complete sets. Some local archery shops, will do those as well. They can order them and then have them shipped in and put it all on for you, such as in Mustang, Oklahoma, which is our neighboring town over. They have a place called War Torn Archery. They will do a cable and string replacement for you. You bring the bow in, you can either drop it off and leave it for the duration of the time until they get it done, or you can bring it in the day of, have it done that day, as long as you have your time scheduled to come in and do it. And they quoted me originally, and it may change due to prices of materials or things like that. They quoted me at $125 to order the cables, have them brought in, and put them on, which is a very reasonable price. Most places I checked all quoted at about the same price, within $2 or $3 of each other. The price of this one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because I ordered the strings myself, it was the $70 plus. I think it'll be $20 to have them mounted, so that's $90. I'm saving myself a little bit of money by ordering the strings myself and having them sent to me. And then I've already scheduled the appointment to have it taken in. This particular bow, the Matthews, you can see on the bottom here, it's the MXZ, and it is a solo cam because it only has the one cam like most modern bows nowadays will have, and then the one guide wheel at the top. Once this is restrung, I will be doing some videos on getting it sighted in and kind of dialed in, ready to roll, because I believe this Matthews will be my primary hunting bow. My Bear will be my backup due to it's a little bit older. I don't want to kind of put it through a whole bunch of abuse right away. The Matthews is newer, so it's going to be a little stronger probably. More than likely a little bit faster, because the draw weight on this one is 70 pounds as to where the draw weight on the Bear is 65, so it's a 5-pound difference. I believe that's going to change it by a few feet per second on the arrow speed. I'll have to look up the exact numbers so I can kind of give those to you at a later date. But some other bits of information that some people who are new to archery may not know, because I was unaware of it myself, because I didn't know where to look on the bow to find all of this, because some places are, some bows are different. Most of them are in the same place, but if you look right here at the bottom, there's this white sticker. The top line will say your draw length. The next line down will say draw weight. The next line after that is your string length, followed up by your cable length. When you get a bow, most of the time those things will be on there. Brand new bows will have it written on there very clear and legible. When I got this one, it had faded significantly, so the writing was unclear. You couldn't see it. So I had to look it up, and because this is a discontinued bow, Matthews themselves has a list they put out of all their discontinued bows from, I believe it was 2002 to 2015. Or no, it was from 1990 to 2015, sorry. Misquoted that. My bow fell about halfway in the middle there in 1996. And it gives you all the specs, your draw length, the max draw length on it, the max draw weight, your string length, your cable length, the IBO rating, all that stuff. How fast it's going to be able to shoot at its max draw weight, how many feet per second that arrow will be going, and that can also be affected by your arrow weight. Like your for example, I've acquired some of these. These are the Wolverine arrows from Walmart. They're a Carbon Express arrow. If you see right here, it is for the 55 to 70 pound draw weight range. The spine on this arrow, I believe, is about a 350, which is kind of, I guess I would say, somewhere in the middle. These are just practice tips, just kind of get used to it, kind of get the swing of things again, get back into shooting. Different arrow tips, like, your broadheads will have different weights. Some like 100 to 125 grain is, I believe, the average that I've seen. I'm sure there probably are something heavier and possibly something even lighter than that. But most guys I talk to have used around, 100 grain arrowhead. There are, obviously different kinds of arrows. Most of the ones I have are just the black carbon. And you got your Wolverine, Hunter, the Kryptos, and I said, what else is? And there's this one here, which is a Carbon Express Terminator Hunter, which was a camo pattern print. All of these are, a carbon arrow. There are some, I believe, it's called the Axis FMJ. Those are a outer shell that is aluminum or some kind of metal like that, I believe, with a carbon insert inside. Like the inside of the arrow is carbon, so it gives it that stiffer outer shell. There are a lot of guys that prefer those, and then there's just as many people who prefer like the all carbon arrows without the full metal jacketing on them. It's basically kind of shooter preference, really. Each person has their own preference after trying, different things that they like. You'll discover the things you like after you've got your bow out and your whatever bow choice you've made. There are dozens and dozens of choices. I mean, Matthews, you got PSE, you've got all these other brands. Those are just a couple that I could think of right off the top of my head. Bear. There are dozens of bow brands and companies out there that you find what you like. Everybody has their preference, and they'll try to sell you on their preference. But in all reality, it comes down to shooter preference. You have to find something, one, that fits comfortably for you. It has the right kind of draw weight. It's not too strong or it's not too light. And the right draw length, because some bows, being smaller bows, will have a shorter draw length at the maximum draw length. When you go into your local archery shop to get these bows, to get whatever bow choice you have made, you can have them set you up with measuring for your draw length, which will be when you're at full draw and you're anchored in on your jaw here, which will be the length from that point to where your bow will be up front. They will be able to tell you what your full draw length is. Mine is about a 30, and that's comfortable for me because I'm not overdrawn, pulling way back here, trying to put it behind my ear, and I'm not underdrawn, sitting way up here on the front of my chin. And you'll get all these things when you go in to your local shops. And for those people who know me from where I'm from, I grew up in southeast Kansas. About 30 minutes away is Joplin, Missouri. A good friend of mine who I went to school with He owns a shop over there called Outback Archery. They also have fishing tackle and other things like that in there, I believe, if I remember right. You know, if you're local to that area, you can go in there and talk to Steven, and he'll get you set up, you know, with a good bow. You know, he has used bows, he has brand new bows. You can kind of choose which one you think is best for you as far as, you know, price point, what you can afford. You know, he'll help you figure out, you know, what is a good draw weight for you and a good your draw length, what your draw length should be. He'll get you set up with the proper arrows that you need for whatever your intended purpose is, whether it be target shooting, or if you're wanting it for hunting. You know, he'll be able to set you up with all those things. And you know, if you're local to here where I'm at now, which is in Yukon, Oklahoma, and if you like old school type traditional bows like recurves and things like that. There's archery traditions of Oklahoma here in Yukon. There is war-torn archery if you like the compound style setups in Mustang, Oklahoma, and a few other small shops here and there. There's a bowstring company in Chickasha, Oklahoma called Twisted X Bowstrings. There's also several different, just, you know, I prefer the mom and pop shops. Some of these little small stores prefer over the box chain stores, because I mean, you go into that box chain store, they're just trying to sell you on whatever new thing they got. They really honestly could care less whether you're happy with it or not. You go into these small mom and pop shops, and you know, it's a personal experience. They're down on a level where they're trying to keep it, you know, 1-to-1, because they're just an average Joe just like you. You know, and they'll help you set up whether you're a guy shooter coming in or you're a girl shooter coming in. You know, either one, they'll be able to set you up with the proper equipment and get you started. I believe that's pretty much all I have, you know, for this video. If you have any comments or concerns or questions, drop them in the comment below. And you know, if anything you might like to see, such as, you know, like hunting videos, or whether it be target practicing videos, or anything you have questions about, you know, archery or outdoor shooting sports related, we can definitely go over those and have some fun and make some fun videos with this. So we appreciate you tuning in, and you guys have a good night, and we'll see you on the next video.